Has my wish come true? Is Cambridge actually coming out with a Bible that is in that sweet size spot that I talked about recently, the Goldilocks size Bible? Now, I will say Cambridge has actually a Bible that I have said is in the Goldilocks size, the Concord, and this one has a full yap, so it looks a little bit bigger than if it didn't have the yap, but this is still what I call the Goldilocks size Bible. They also have a Pitt Minion, which is a small size Bible, and this is not a Pitt Minion. I don't have one right now, but it's very similar to this size, and as you can see, a Pitt Minion would be smaller than a Concord. Then Cambridge also has larger Bibles like the Turquoise, or here I have the Topaz. And this is nice. It's a large print Bible. The Concord is right in between. So I was talking recently about how I like Bibles this size. However, Cambridge only has this in the King James Version. It would be nice to have other translations available in this size format. And lo and behold, someone was mentioning that they have a plan to put out what is called the Cambridge Diadem, which is apparently going to be bigger than a Pitt Minion. So I was looking into this and I saw that on evangelicalbible.com they have an update here and they talk about what's coming in 2021, and one of the things that they mention is the ESV Cambridge Diadem, which is identical, it says, to the Pitt Minion series, except about 20% larger. Stay tuned. So there's not really a whole lot of information on this. I would love to know how many of you even knew about this Bible. I know some people did know about it and were excited about it, but Cambridge hasn't really said a whole lot. There was a video that I found where Amanda Taylor from Cambridge Bibles talked about it a little bit when someone asked a question about it. So let me play a clip of that for you so you can hear what she says.
There's also another question just come through here. Sierra is asking, when is the new enlarged version of the Pitt Minion coming out? It's supposed to be between the Pitt Minion and the wide margin. So an enlarged version of the Pitt Minion.
We are working on a new edition, which is going to be called the Diadem edition. And
Okay.
as you say, yes, it will be a larger version of the Pitt Minion, because that's the feedback that we've had, that people love the format of the Pitt Minion, but it is a little bit small for some people and they'd like something a little bit larger. So that will be what's behind the new Diadem edition, which again will be towards the end of this year. And we'll be doing that first in the English Standard Version and then other translations later on. And we'll be doing one with the Apocrypha and one without the Apocrypha.
Okay.
And
yeah.
different binding styles.
Absolutely. Well, that's certainly something to look out for.
So all I really can tell from what is being said is that this ESV Cambridge Diadem is going to be larger than a Pitt Minion, but I don't really know the specifics. I mean, it sounds like Evangelical Bible is saying that it's going to be identical to a Pitt Minion in terms of its format. So I guess it would be kind of between the Pitt Minion and the wide margin, which uses the same format but has wide margins. But 20% larger than the Pitt Minion is what evangelicalbible.com said, and I don't know the specifics of that. That could mean different things. 20% larger than a Pitt Minion could mean that it's 20% larger in terms of its text, could be a little bit wider, for example. It could also just be 20% larger as a whole, which would enlarge the text. I'm hoping that's what it means, because that would put it in the Goldilocks size Bible range. I like Bibles that are a little bit bigger than this. I think there's a place for this. Very easy to hold this and put this into a bag and transport. However, when I'm holding it, it just feels a little too small, and the text is a little bit too small. In the Pitt Minion, it's also a reference Bible, so the text is even a little bit smaller. It's around a 7-point font. Whereas with the Concord, you have more like an 8 or 9-point font. I think it's listed as a 9-point font. Could be wrong on that. But anyway, it is a little bit more readable than the Pitt Minion. But what I like is If I want to take a half sheet of paper, like if I have Bible study notes, I can put them right on the Bible, and it's still easy to hold, but it can hold a half sheet of paper as well. Whereas when you have a small Bible like the Pitt Minion, it is very easy to hold, but a half sheet of paper doesn't fit very well in there. So that's my preference, is to have something a little bit more in between. When you have a large print Bible, I do like the large print of something like the Topaz. That is really nice to have nice large print, especially at the pulpit, for example, or maybe you're studying at a desk. That's fine to have a larger Bible, but it's not as easy to hold or transport. And even though this one here, it has a stiffer cover, which does make it easier to hold, it still isn't quite as easy to hold in your hand. My arm is kind of holding it up a little bit here too. So it's okay, but I would like something a little bit smaller than the Topaz or the Turquoise, a lot more like the Cambridge Concord, but it would be nice, as I said, to have it in something other than just the King James Version. They said that they're going to have it in the ESV, and it sounds like with the Apocrypha as well as without the Apocrypha, and there will be other translations to come in the Cambridge Diadem. So again, I'd like to know how many of you knew about this and how many of you are excited about this, because as I've said, in the premium Bible range, I don't think there are enough Bibles out there that are this size, this Goldilocks size Bible. In between a small, really portable Bible and a large print Bible, something that is just still pretty easy to carry, but still quite readable. I like this size Bible. So really excited to hear about the Cambridge Diadem. I wish there was already more information about it. I do think that the Pitt Minion format is a pretty nice format. It's very nice font, crisply printed. It has references in the center column. So it will be interesting to see if it does in fact have that format. Sounds like it's going to. If you have any inside information that is actually verifiable, that you have links to, I would love to hear about that in the comments section. If you are excited about this, you agree with me that we need more Bibles of this size, I'd love to hear about that too. I know a lot of you did agree with me on the last video I did on that subject. But if there's another format that you like better, I understand that, and I'd love to hear about that in the comments as well. But thank you so much for taking some time to listen to some of my thoughts on this topic, brought to you from A Frisch Perspective.